Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story is titled, Am I the Arsehole for telling my soon-to-be sister-in-law that they're asking too much of their wedding guests? So, a quick little backstory. My husband, 21 male, and his brother, 25 male, have always had a great relationship. His brother moved away when he was younger, and even though they're now 2 hours apart, they still regularly talk and play games online together. My husband is one of 6 kids, and they are still in contact and on good terms. His parents are also still married. About 3 years ago, his brother introduced us to his girlfriend at the time. She was originally from a different state, but moved here to be with him. Everything was fine until about a year into knowing her, when she started getting snotty and entitled. For one thing, she refused to work and expected him to support her, and her mother, whom she had brought here with her when moving here. She began going through people's things, making snide comments, and she even told me that I was privileged, and said she would use our daughter's name for her daughter while I was in labor. She also wore sweatpants to our wedding and fell asleep at the reception. For their wedding, we were told we need to purchase medieval costumes, drive the 2 hours to their town, bring food for the reception, play outside games, and just recently she added that we would need to take pictures on our phones for them since they can't afford a photographer. I mentioned to her that it all seemed a lot to ask, especially considering they had refused to come for any family events prior to this, and she told me if I didn't like it then I didn't have to come. I should add that my husband is in this wedding. She stopped responding to me after I said their attitude was hurtful, and started telling my mother-in-law that I was hurting her again, and making up stories about us kicking them out of our house. This has begun to affect my husband's relationship with his brother now, and I feel bad, but at the same time, all of my in-laws are happy I said something to her, and are appalled at how snotty her and my brother-in-law have been lately. Am I the arsehole for saying something? Edit, I feel like I should add that my current sister-in-law, 15 female, has a birthday the day before their wedding. She specifically asked for it not to be on her birthday weekend before they had a date picked because she wanted all the family here for her birthday. Now they are saying we need to come up there the day before, on her birthday, to help prepare their food, even though they know it's her birthday. I was reading through a lot of this and I was just thinking if it was a nice family member, I wouldn't have an issue doing a lot of it if you can afford it, etc, etc, but the fact that this person's an arsehole anyway, you're just not going to do it for her, are you? I mean, she wore sweatpants to your wedding, insulted you during labor, there's the refusing to work and all this sort of stuff that's going on in the background as well, goes through your things, and now wants you to be an unpaid wedding planner, photographer, caterer, all while being an arsehole to you? Yeah, it's just not going to happen, is it? She created this whole mess just by being awful, and you simply just pointed it out. The first commenter says, not the arsehole. Here's what you do if you're petty like me. First, rent the most beautiful, elaborate, cream-colored medieval dress so you look better than her by far. If you don't have a costume rental place, learn to sew today and make it real grand. Next, make 12 deviled eggs. Nothing more. Last, hire 2 minions who will follow you around, carrying your very long dress train, and have them respond to everything you say with, "Yes, my queen." Then take pictures of her face and inbox me because I need a follow-up. Hope you reply saying, "Lol, that made me laugh. I've been told that her dress is interesting, so to be honest I could probably go in a sundress and look fancier." Their wedding is less than 2 months, so I'll make sure to follow up. Someone was mentioning to do petty things with the photos, and OP says, "I like the idea of taking 150 horribly blurry photos of the ground and then uploading them for their Facebook event. Oh yeah, and the photos are supposed to be uploaded to a Facebook event, which at the moment only serves as a place to link their wedding registry." Nut says, not the arsehole, you should go to the wedding, if only for the chance to joust with the arsehole bride on a special day. Opie says, we are still invited too, and are planning to go to the wedding at this point. It should be interesting since I recently found out her entire family bagged out and is not coming at all. Nut replies saying, sure the lines for the joust. LKM says, I think it's better to make statements about what you can or cannot do, as opposed to statements for other people. I'm not going to be able to rent a medieval costume. Sorry. As opposed to, you're asking too much of your guests. I would agree with you in the same situation. But if she wants a medieval wedding, she's free to do that, just as you are free to opt out. No one's an arsehole here. While she does sound entitled overall, she gets to pick the theme and others can choose to go or not. Opie says, I totally agree with you about it being her wedding. I even said that to her. I believe the exact words were, I understand it's your wedding and you should have whatever you want. It was more of the fact that she expected the entire family to do it but treated them awful at the same time. Also, brother-in-law did not know about the photographer situation or what she had said about us kicking them out. He did not agree with that at all. I know there are a lot of arguments between them, so I feel really bad for him in all this. LKM replied saying she does sound difficult. If you can bear it, I hope both of you can hang in there for the sake of your brother-in-law. Isolating people can be a sign of abuse. And I hope you don't think I approve her behavior in general. Just in this one point, it's her/their decision. Opie says, no, not at all. I totally agree with you on taking her feelings into account. I made sure when I brought it up that I did my best to make sure she understood I wasn't saying she shouldn't get what she wants. But just certain guests might not be able to do that and that they shouldn't be treated badly if they are there to support you. So it was sometime later that OP came in with an update and said the wedding was today. We arrived at the ceremony about 15 minutes before it was supposed to start. As we had been told, there was no rehearsal and to just be there when the other guests would get there. We arrived and my husband was greeted by his brother with, "Where have you been? We've been going over everything and you weren't here." Again, we had been told there was no rehearsal, but apparently his brother had decided the night before that they would be going over everything an hour before the ceremony, and we were not informed. Anyway, my husband goes back to be with the wedding party and we sit down. They did end up getting a photographer, but she was very pushy and kept snapping in people's faces to get their attention. The ceremony was fine. Typical wedding ceremony, aside from the Renaissance outfits, but then we went to the reception. The reception was outdoors in a barn. It had been raining all day, so there were a lot of bugs. When we got there, no decorations had been set out and there was only one table for people to eat at. This was a group of 40 to 45. 2 hours after we got there, they started bringing the food in. Apparently they had assigned one of the bride's older relatives to make all the food, and somewhere along the hustling and bustling of making food for all these people, the poor man had a heart attack. He was rushed to the hospital and he is okay, but they had absolutely no backup plan. They ended up cooking all the food themselves when they got to the reception. They cut the cake without announcing it, so the photographer had to hastily run over there to get pictures. And after cutting the cake, the bride's entire family disappeared, and we did not see them for the remainder of the time we were there. Her mother did come into the barn every half hour or so to smoke a cigarette, but that was it. There was no dancing, no bouquet toss, because they carried lanterns instead, and the guests that were left kind of just stood around. Needless to say, it was chaos at its finest. Thank you to everyone who commented on the original post. I'm sure we'll have many similar family gatherings in the future. Edit, so it turns out the man who had a heart attack is the boyfriend of the bride's mother, and he faked the entire thing. Apparently he's known for that, and the mother of the bride lied about taking him to the hospital so he wouldn't have to make the food. Edit, as if it wasn't bad enough, we found out that the mother of the bride didn't take any pictures at the wedding, at all, and she just waited until brother-in-law's parents put their pictures on Facebook so she could post them as her own. She also blew up her brother-in-law at the reception because no one was talking to her, even though she kept leaving to go smoke in her cabin. They're a very odd family. Gee bloody whiz, it's one of those situations where I would just love to be a fly on the wall in that situation. I mean, it sounds like I'd be in good company amongst the other bugs, but what do you guys make of this situation? Holy moly, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Throwaway Catty, who says, "Am I the arsehole for calling my cousin untalented in front of our family after she stole my work?" So I, female 16, have recently began applying for internships and jobs to spice up my resume. I have a strong passion for graphic design and visual effects. In the past, I've designed YouTube banners for many well-known people, edited their videos, and more. All of my work is watermarked with my name unless it's commissioned. My cousin, female 23, who's been very close to me since I was young, has had a lot of trouble finding a job. She is also pursuing the same field. One day my cousin asked to see my portfolio with all my projects. Since we were so close, I didn't give it a second thought and sent her everything. My portfolio contains my best work. Keep in mind it was all watermarked with my name and socials in the bottom left corner. A few weeks go by and my cousin has not found a job. Every once in a while she comes and visits us and asks my parents questions, since her parents are out of state, about applying for jobs. She showed them her portfolio, resume, etc. When she let me see it, I was shocked. She'd put all of my designs into her portfolio, and all she did was cover my watermark with an ugly black bar with her name on top. She asked, beaming, if I thought it was nice. I didn't want to embarrass her and cause a scene, so I just nodded. The following week, our extended family visited for dinner. My cousin told everyone that she finally landed a job, a rather well-paying one for a graphic designer. She went on and on talking about how the interviewer mentioned that he was very impressed with her work. I wasn't exactly comfortable through all this, knowing she had stolen my work, but I kept my composure. The issue happened when my family started telling me to be more like my cousin and not laze around. I lost it. I started yelling at my family and cousin about how she had stolen my work and that all she knew how to do was to add a black bar and type her name out. I called her untalented enough that she felt the need to steal from a 16-year-old. My family was shocked. My cousin started crying and yelling that she had no idea what I was talking about. So I pulled up the messages she sent me asking for my portfolio. However, my parents didn't believe me and said that if I was telling the truth, why did I wait so long to say something? Even after explaining the entire situation to everyone, I was not trusted, and now my whole family is against me for causing a scene and making my cousin cry when we were supposed to be celebrating. Monkey Wrench says not the arsehole. Find out who hired her and report her for stealing your portfolio. She can take a long walk off a short pier for stealing your work and then getting a job based on it. Ha! Wait till they expect her to produce the same type of work. Cutesy says not the arsehole, and you have so much proof on all your work that if you want, you could potentially legally cause her issues as copyright is automatically given to the creator. Your family is crap for not believing you. Next time, do not send your full work to anyone and show them in person, or put your watermark in the middle of the workpiece you are showing them in big bold full color so they can't steal it. Another commenter says not the arsehole 1,000 times. My daughter is an artist and I would be pissed if anyone did this to her, much less a cousin. What does she expect you to do? Complete her work assignments too? I think you're well within your rights to contact her work and explain she stole the art from you. You have all the original designs on your computer, right? Should be fairly easy to prove you did it. Also have another talk with your mum or dad. Pick whomever is most likely to hear you out. Prove when you did the art pieces. Heck, draw one right in front of them and challenge her to do the same. Do not let someone else take credit for your hard work. She is awful. Never let her near your art again. One more commenter that says not the arsehole. Clearly she isn't very good at graphic design if the only way she can get rid of your watermark is by placing a black bar over it. I say go to her employer. Send them texts of her asking to see your portfolio, along with your original designs with your watermarks, and include as many dates and times as you can, especially if you have save files for your work. Maybe I'm petty, but stealing work is so low. She doesn't deserve that job and probably won't be able to meet the standards needed for it anyway, the second she has to use her own skills. So at some point later, OP does come in with an update and says, thank you for the support in my last post. I know many of you requested an update, and I promised one. A lot has happened in the last few days, so let me know if I need to clarify anything. After I wrote my first post, I felt ready to talk to my parents again about what happened, and I showed them proof that my portfolio designs were mine. They apologized to me for blaming me and called my cousin an aunt/uncle, telling her that our actions were wrong. That was all they did. I took the advice that I was given in my last post and emailed my, female 16, cousin's, female 23, employer. I provided progress photos and videos, layer screenshots, history, etc. To sum it up, they apologized that this happened to me and informed me that my cousin would be fired. I was not invited to fill in her spot or anything of the sort, since I'm looking for an internship rather than a full-time job. This morning, my cousin turned up to mine and my parents' house and started yelling profanities at me and crying. Side note, to my knowledge, my identity should have been concealed when the employer told my cousin she was fired, but I'm guessing she just connected the dots. She told my parents what I had done, and they were angry at me, even though I had proved that the art and designs were mine. They immediately started berating me for going so far as to getting her fired. My parents have never exactly been supportive of my graphic design and editing hobbies, but they love taking advantage of it. I've edited videos for my mum in the past, to which she claims I price too high. I charge $15 an hour, which is less than minimum wage where I'm from, and put together some things for my dad, who has never really been happy with me picking design for a hobby. He wanted me to do something useful, like coding. A massive argument broke out. My aunt and uncle came to the house as well, and I was just crying. My cousin, parents, aunt and uncle were yelling at me for getting my cousin fired. They all knew that the portfolio wasn't hers, but they didn't believe it was justifiable to have her lose a job she worked so hard for. A part of me thinks that they're defending my cousin because she's older and more mature in their eyes. I'm pretty sensitive to arguments, so I didn't want to be around anymore. I called a friend's mum and she picked me up. I've explained the entire situation to her and my friend, and they're letting me stay over for a bit until my mum and dad decide to pick me up. My friend's mum said she would talk to them and explain why my cousin is the only person in the wrong right now. I just hope this blows over quickly and that I can find an internship somewhere. Edit, many people have requested an update. I'll post it via my own Reddit page, this one, due to the subreddit restrictions. I'm gonna just have the top comment on this one from Can Grande 1314, who says, I am so very, very sorry. You did nothing wrong at any time in this. Art theft is real theft. That's your work. Your cousin wasn't going to be able to do that job and was in way over her head. But more than that, in what world is stealing and lying working hard for a job? I don't know how to get it through to your parents and extended family. Your work was good enough to get your cousin a job, meaning it's valuable. So why is it not valuable when you do it? Why is her stealing something valuable from you not wrong? Why are you stealing an opportunity from her when she has actually stolen your work from you? Maybe it's as simple as, gee, mum, dad, you brought me up not to lie or steal and to report people who do. Did you not mean it? Good luck finding an internship. I'm sorry this is happening. Please try to let your art and not this define you. Obviously, not the arsehole. And as far as I can see, OP never did update further after that. I hope that they was able to get that internship and people did back off of her, because I really wanted to know what she was going to do once they requested her to do something for her own job, try to produce something in the similar style that OP did. It was just something that was always going to crumble in the end, I think. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's have one more story. Now, our next story is from Cat Out of the Woods from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit. No updates as yet. It says, am I the arsehole here for kicking out my friend's neurodivergent friend for what I felt was ignoring boundaries and touching my most personal stuff. I'm just super annoyed that I'm made to be the bad guy, but in case I'm missing something, here it is. My friends have a buddy, uses pronouns they/them. They bring along who is on the spectrum and high functioning. They can drive, live independently, clearly make friends and hold down a job. So personally, I think they can understand and respect boundaries. They have this annoying and disgusting habit of burping really hard, effortfully, so it's loud. And I have a sensitive nose and it smells. I don't care they do that, but when it's in my literal personal space, less than 3 feet, that's an issue. I told them several times not to do that when they are literally facing me and talking to me, facing me or eating right next to me, with an entire plate of food being passed around. The end of my patience was then met when I had a gathering and they invited them. Their friend came in and I was warm to them. And when I go to the bathroom, I come back looking for them to tell them we are eating dinner. Lo and behold, they are playing with my hearing aids. I put in a device to dry them out since it was raining. My friends just speak louder around me when they're off. I literally need those for work and my safety, and other people playing with, let alone wearing them, is unsanitary. I flipped out and told them to put those down, and he burped in my face, laughing, saying they were sorry and tried to hug me. They dropped one of my hearing aids on the floor and almost spilled their drink on it, the puddle barely touching it as I grabbed it. These are $3,000 each. I told them to let go, and my friends were trying to get me to understand that they have troubles with these social cues. My response was, I'm allowed to decide what I put up with in my personal space and who handles my medical devices. Anybody who can hold down a job, make friends, and live alone should be able to respect boundaries. I don't care if they're on the spectrum, that doesn't mean anything on this. My friends left with them, and I've been back and forth with one of them about it. Slenderman, as my dad says, and quoting about OP telling them to put it down, and he burped in OP's face saying, I would have kicked everyone out and not spoken to any of them again. Not the arsehole. Awesome Ocelot says not the arsehole, coming from a high-functioning autistic. Even if they cannot pick up on social cues, you have told them several times your boundaries, yet they still continue to burp in your face. I personally do not understand what thought process they would have to pick up medical devices. Never mind they have been in your ears. I wouldn't even touch a person's crutches, let alone something so small, sensitive, and expensive. They are the a-hole. They shouldn't be using their diagnosis as an excuse or shield. If it happens once and you express your dislike and boundaries, it should not happen again. Period. Surfing for Thrill says 100% not the arsehole. I have an autistic son. I'm his legal guardian and he is unable to live alone. He would never act this way. This is not the behavior of a person on the spectrum. This isn't a disability. This is a complete arse who uses disability to harass people around them, and you absolutely do not have to tolerate it. If he burps, tell him it's disgusting and walk away. If he touches your stuff, scream at him to drop it. If he wants to act like an animal, treat him like one. Disabled people can also be arseholes, just because they are arseholes. They have no excuse and people tend to allow them to get away with it. Don't be one of them. And one more comment from Lows and Highs who says, do not handle my medical device. And this says, is not a social cue. What the actual fuck? The belching in your face is so disgusting. That would have been enough for me. But messing with your hearing aids? I don't know what kind you have, but some are rather fragile on top of being frigging expensive. A person can be autistic and an arsehole. Sounds like this person fits the bill. I would not allow this person in your home in the future. Whoever is the one who often brings the arsehole, make it clear the arsehole isn't allowed in your home before the gathering. If the arsehole shows up, turn them away. You have proven you cannot respect my home by messing with my medical devices, so you're no longer welcome. Don't back down. As for being around the arsehole at gatherings outside of your home, after the first time he belched in your face, that is extremely rude, please don't do it again. If they do, walk away, join another conversation, or just go somewhere else. Speak loud and clear. There's no reason for anyone to put up with that behavior. That's disgusting, and it doesn't sound like there's anything preventing the arsehole from understanding that. If your friends continue to side with the arsehole, sounds like you need new friends. And I feel absolutely with the comments in this one with OP not being the arsehole. And going along the lines of neurodivergence isn't a free pass to ignore basic respect for other people's belongings and, burping in people's faces. It's just grim. OP gave multiple warnings about the burping thing, which was showing more patience than I would have, to be quite honest. But touching someone's hearing aids, their medical device, without permission? That's a huge line crossed. They aren't toys, they're essential medical devices that OP needs. But anyone enabling this at the same time, I'd be side-eyeing as well. But what do you guys make of this situation? Maybe you see something else in there. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time, it always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here, and hopefully I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care and much love.